and welcome to a brand new series here on Dubai Racing Channel, Past the Post. Looking back at everything that's happened this weekend, which is now, well, in the past. In this brave new episode, we'll be recapping the first meeting of a brand new UAE season at Jebel Ali, taking a glance at the highlights from Sharjah, and looking back at the all-important Breeders' Cup meeting from Santa Anita in America. That's quite a lot to get through, so we'd better get cracking. Let's start at Jebel Ali, which opened on the very last day of October. A 1950-metre handicap got us underway, with 8 runners lining up. Tygo Shea only had 2 rides on the card, but made this one a winning one, leading for most of the race on board Misbah, who was the comfortable winner over Street Act.
Misbah under pressure with 200 metres left to go. Street Act and Makarat are chasing. Misbah's responding to Tig. Street Act is now coming at Misbah. Misbah in front with 50 metres to go. Street Act is lunging at him near the line, but it's too late.
The second race, a 1600-metre contest, provided Ali Rashid Al Rahi and Royston French with their first winner of the season, courtesy of top weight Need to Know, who wore down Moorherb and Hacienda in the run to the line. Dane O'Neill, only in the country for a day or so prior to the meeting, made a great start, initiating a double when Fityan collected the 1000-metre feature event, sponsored as ever by his main employer Shadwell.
Fityan under Dane O'Neill, much too good, drawing clear and wins well. Fityan first, Rabard second.
The dual Jebel Ali Sprint runner-up deserved a win here, and there could be more to come this season, with his jockey seemingly impressed.
I was very pleased with him. We're a little slow away from the gates, but to be honest, if you'd have asked me at halfway, would I suffer for anything else, I would have said no. I travelled into it very well, and when I found a kick, I thought he'd take some catches.
A 1000-metre maiden was next up, with 5 debutantes among the field of 11. However, the win went to the more experienced Mari, successful on his 9th start for a delighted Mohammed Ramadan and jockey Carlos Sanchez. Commercial Bank of Dubai lent their name to the penultimate race, a 90 to 105 handicap over 1200 metres, which allowed Satish Seema and Richie Mullen to grace the winner's enclosure, courtesy of Glenn Levin, who was much the best here, easily accounting for Dayran and Mizwaj. Dane O'Neill completed his double in the final race, and partnering Karaman to a first local victory over 1400 metres.
Karaman in front with 100 metres left to run. He's clear. 60 minutes and Greletto battle out the trifecta spots, but Karaman too good. Karaman first.
It was a popular win for trainer Erwin Sharpie, who is now just 5 away from his 500th UAE success. Opening weekend also saw action from Sharjah, which has 6 meetings this season. We sent Stephen Molyneux along to sample its dusty delights. Here's what he made of it.
Welcome back to Sharjah for the first of 6 meetings due to take place here this season, 5 of them occurring before Christmas. Today's card features 3 maidens, 4 Arabians, the feature being a 2000 metre handicap for the thoroughbreds. That's race 4. Let's get to some action. Didn't take long for reigning champion trainer Ernst Ortel to get off the mark. Razine taking the opening maiden under Adrian Nichols.
But Razine too good, and Razine wins.
Tygo Shea may have been aboard the wrong one then, but did make amends later on in the card when steering Badir Al Asail to victory in the 0 to 40 handicap over 2,000 metres, giving Ortel a double in the process. The 6-year-old mare hadn't been seen since winning a maiden on her debut in March 2013, and lingering greenness was still very evident, so more can be expected from her as the season progresses. If Ortel took the training honours, then Royston French very much took the riding ones, booting home a treble, the pick of the trio, Latifa Princess, who comfortably gave Hardy Hotger a first training success in the UAE. French also landed the other 2 maidens on the card, ES Muzahim getting the better of Metfa Al Reef in the 3-year-old contest, and completing his fine day's work aboard AF Farouk in the finale.
It is Farouk in front, and Farouk will be too good. Farouk first.
On to our feature race of the day now. It's the 2,000 metre contest for thoroughbreds, a race won 12 months ago by the progressive Stormbelt, and this horse here, number 4, Estivsas, could easily climb the ranks in the UAE this season. He makes his debut for Ali Rashid Al Rahi, but can boast some very strong form, and it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. Estivsas did offer something before predictably tiring, but it was left to Diwan and Shihab to fight out the closest finish of the day, the former just getting the verdict and breaking his maiden tag at the 9th time of asking. It was a second winner of the weekend for Doug Watson. He was understandably pleased to see him get his head in front.
We've always thought a little bit of him. Last season we ran him up the hill a couple times and probably over the wrong trip. We could never quite get him over the right trip. The jocks always come back and say he wants further, but towards the end of the season he popped a quarter crack behind, and that set him back, and then we went to China with him and tried to get away with it over there, and he didn't run too well, but taking our time with him, and he's a horse with a little bit of talent and obviously likes this track, so I think some better things to come for him. He's got a great attitude, so I imagine he'll do that again at some point.
So he's very well bred out of Embassy by Echo of Light. I mean, yeah. Echo of Lights, are they relentless gallopers? Is that?
I don't know. I've only had a couple so far, and he's the best of the bunch that we've had. I can see him going on further from this. We did think a lot of him last year, and then we had some little setbacks, and hopefully we have a pretty straightforward season, and we'll get to see what he can do. Obviously, we get up to a mark where he's going to like Maidan, also pretty much the same service, hopefully, and so maybe we'll be able to win a couple at Maidan, or not a couple, just get in the money with him and have him run some good races for us.
We race again at Sharjah this Saturday, by which time, hopefully, the storm clouds that soaked us during the last will have rolled away.
Over in America, Santa Anita hosted the 2-day Breeders' Cup meeting with a slimmed-down programme incorporating 13 races. The very first race on the Friday of the meeting was the Juvenile Turf over a mile, and it provided trainer Wesley Ward with a first Breeders' Cup win when Hootenanny triumphed under Frankie Dettori. The Coolmore-owned Colt, a winner at Royal Ascot in June, collared pace setter and stablemate Luck of the Kitten close home.
But Hootenanny and Frankie Dettori have taken the lead late, and Hootenanny wins the Juvenile Turf.
The Dirt Mile saw defending champion Golden Sense sent off the hot favourite to attempt the double. He did it the hard way, being pushed early by Vickers in Trouble, but opening up a huge lead under Rafael Bejarano, from which Tapiture was never quite able to reel him in.
Golden Sense just keeps on going. Golden Sense will do it again in the Dirt Mile.
It was a first Breeders' Cup win for trainer Leandro Mora, long-time assistant to the suspended Doug O'Neill. However, he will soon lose Golden Sense, who now heads to stud in Kentucky. A good first day for the home team continued in the Juvenile Fillies Turf, when favourite Lady Eli outgunned the front-running Sunset Glow in the straight.
But it's Lady Eli and Irad Ortiz with a green run and a Breeders' Cup victory!
It was a first Breeders' Cup win for 22-year-old rider Irad Ortiz Jr., but just the start of a massive weekend for trainer Chad Brown. Friday's big one was the Distaff, for which a field of 11 lined up. The favourite was the Kentucky Oaks winner Untappable, who duly obliged, finding plenty in the straight to hold off the late challenge of Don't Tell Sophia, who finished second.
Don't Tell Sophia is third on the far outside. Untappable into the final 16th in front. On the inside, Untappable fights on. Don't Tell Sophia's third, but as they come to the wire, the Super Philly has done it. Untappable has won the Distaff.
The winner was ridden by America's top lady jockey Rosie Napravnik, who made an emotional return to the winner's enclosure before unleashing this bombshell.
But I'm gonna have to explain it to my mom first. I wanted to tell you in person that my retirement starts on Sunday, and Joe and I are starting a family.
Rosie's news bulletin meant that day 2 of the meeting had plenty to live up to drama-wise. It started with an upset, when D. Wayne Lucas's Take Charge Brandy collected the Juvenile Fillies, going gate to wire under Victor Espinoza.
Take Charge Brandy is still there. Wonder Gal, top decile, feathered, all trying to get her with the net, but Take Charge Brandy has gone all the way. She's 60-1 in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies under Victor Espinoza.
It was the 20th Breeders' Cup success for veteran trainer Lucas, who narrowly missed out on classic glory last year, with Will take charge. Earlier rain meant that the filly and mare turf was the first race on the grass all day. The slightly softer surface certainly suited front-runner Day at the Spa, who was never headed and collected a second win of the meeting for trainer Chad Brown. Stephanie's Kitten finished second, ahead of Qatar Racing's Just the Judge.
Day at the Spa takes catching here. Day at the Spa's got it. Day at the Spa all the way in the filly and mare turf.
The winner is catalogued for the Keeneland Sales, if her owners can bear to part with her. With no groupie doll in the lineup this time, the filly and mare sprint looked an open affair, with last year's second, Judy the Beauty, well fancied to go one better. She managed it, coming from the back of the field under Mike Smith to lead in the straight, but had to pull out all of the stops to deny Godolphin's Better Lucky, who came within a neck of pinching it.
Judy the Beauty has taken the lead. Better Lucky on the far outside is charging after her. Here's Better Lucky. Judy the Beauty. Judy the Beauty holds on.
It was the second win of the weekend for absent trainer Wesley Ward, who had made the slightly bizarre decision to watch his son Riley compete in a cross-country race instead of attending America's best meeting.
We may have a new training technique for Wesley Ward. He gets the horses ready, and then he watches the races on an iPad.
Wesley, don't ever come back to Santa Anita again.
His No Nay Never started favourite for the Grade 1 turf sprint, over Santa Anita's unique downhill turf course. He had his chance, finishing second under Frankie Dettori, but it was Chad Brown's turn again, as Bobby's Kitten came with a late charge under Joel Rosario to nick it on the line.
It's No Nay Never. Here's Ageless on the outside at a huge price. Toward the inside, tight end touchdown. Sweet Swap is there too. And on the far outside, Bobby's Kitten with a flying finish. And Bobby's Kitten may have got up in the last strides in a wild end to the turf sprint.
The win was another good result for Dubai World Cup winning owners Ken and Sarah Ramsey, who bred this colt and named him after the great Bobby Frankel. Now, where have we heard that before?
With the Kitten's Joy that we bred and owned, and all the disappointment last year running third, and for Joel to come from dead last, I mean, I was disappointed when we thought he'd be forward, you know, in the first 4 or 5, but not dead last. I mean, these Kitten's Joys got the kick. I'm a believer.
The Juvenile remains one of the most prestigious events of the meeting, and it produced one of the most sensational winners, when Texas Red stormed home for trainer and jockey brother duo Keith and Kent DeZormo. Carpe Diem finished second for Todd Pletcher, whose better fancied Daredevil faded in the straight.
Texas Red with a dramatic win in the Juvenile. Oh, he was so good today.
The turf looked to be Europe's best chance of getting on the score sheet, but they were once again frustrated when Andre Favre's Flincher could only manage second behind Maine's Sequence. Graham Motion's charge was completing a Grade 1 4-timer in the hands of John Velazquez, and has been a revelation since transferring to the States.
Main Sequence on the far outside, and here he comes. Main Sequence forging to the front. A perfect year for Main Sequence.
A gelding, the Niarchos family's Main Sequence will race on in 2015, with the Dubai Shima Classic among his options. The Express Bet Sprint, run on the dirt over 1,200 metres, provided a chance for Meydan winner Rich Tapestry to make more history for his homeland Hong Kong. He lined up as favourite under Olivier Deleuze, but sadly trailed in last behind shock winner Work All Week. Trained by Roger Brueggemann and ridden by Florian Giroux, the Illinois-bred gelding extended his dirt record to 10 from 10, beating 2013 sprint winner Secret Circle comfortably.
Work all week, and he's got the lead. Work all week, Fastana. Secret Circle trying to close lead on the inside. Work all week, Secret Circle coming. Work all week, Secret Circle. Work all week, and Florent Giroux has done it.
Sadly, the mile was without the injured Wise Dan, so Toronado took his place as favourite and aimed to win a first non-European race for the Hannon Yard. However, after chasing the lightning early pace set by Obviously, he fell away and Caraconti, ridden by Stefan Pasquier for Jonathan Pease, burst through for the win, beating fellow French trainee Anadin.
Caraconti with a rush on the outside goes by him. Late run from Anadin. Caraconti, Anadin.
The $5 million Breeders' Cup Classic is North America's richest race, and this year it attracted an all-star lineup. The unbeaten Shared Belief set off as favourite, but faced tough opposition from Kentucky Derby and Preakness winner California Chrome, plus Belmont hero Tonalist, and our own UAE Derby winner Toast of New York. As expected, Bayern led, followed by Toast of New York, and it was these two who slogged it out at the end.
Toast of New York on the outside. California Chrome is third. Shared Belief laboring back there in fifth. 1 furlong to run. Bayern, Toast of New York, California Chrome on the outside. The three of them come to the wire. Bayern, Toast of New York, California Chrome. Here's the finish. Bayern holds on over Toast of New York and California Chrome.
Amazingly, it was a first classic win for trainer Bob Baffert, although he and jockey Martin Garcia had to survive an inquiry after Bayern bumped Shared Belief at the gates.
I'm just glad it's over. We won it. We ended the weekend. We were having a tough week, and Secret Circle just, almost getting up. That was tough to take, but, anytime you win the Breeders' Cup Classic, it was missing from my resume.
The Breeders' Cup rolls on to Keeneland in 2015. We can't forget Japan in this whistle-stop tour of racing around the world, as the Tenno Show Autumn at Tokyo featured the return of Shima Classic winner Gentle Donna. Here's a look at the closing stages, in case you missed it.
Favourite Lissabon, the fence, Gentle Donna, in behind Martin Burrow, Tosin, Jordan, Satono Noblesse, Lovers Boucher, not too far away, starting to run on Phenomeno with Tosin, Jordan out wider, and Martin Burrow kicks in as well. They've got 400 metres to run. Curran Black Hill still leads. Here comes the favourite with Lemaire on board. Isla Bonita strikes the front from Minor Lacrima. Along the fence, Gentle Donna trying to rail up. Gentle Donna, but finding it Isla Bonita. Gentle Donna looking for the squeeze along the fence. It's still Isla Bonita, and out wider Spielberg. Spielberg starts to rattle home. Spielberg down the middle of the track. Gentle Donna kicks up. Spielberg, Gentle Donna, Isla Bonita, it's Spielberg.
Before we go, it's time for the weekly Past the Post Awards, starting with our Ride of the Week accolade. Joe Rosario, for his last of first run aboard Bobby's Kitten in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint, a fantastic feat of timing. Next up, how about this week's Horsey Hero? It goes, of course, to Main Sequence, who's gone from rogue to on vogue, courtesy of 4 straight Grade 1 successes in America, culminating in that Breeders' Cup Turf triumph. Finally, which horse enters our notebook as one to watch? Ribat, who after 5 quick runs last season set a strong pace on Friday, before just getting touched off in the closing stages. He's only ever won once, but looks all about speed and is very unexposed as a sprinter. That's it for Past the Post. We do hope you've enjoyed it. Join us next week when we'll be looking back at the Melbourne Cup Carnival from Australia, the first meeting of the season from Meydan, and the curtain raiser from Al Ain. Bye for now.